Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
Happy Monday. Welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Yeah. What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up? What's up?
Yep. Good to see y'all back here on a Monday. What up, everybody in the KVJ TV chat room?
What up?
Chat room.
Yeah, all hanging out. They watch this thing live on YouTube, which you can, or just get it whenever.
They can see me go like this. Shake my
Shake
tatas.
it. Shake it, girl.
Live Tata shaking right
the
there on your
shit
tab.
live,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. You can do that. Yeah, Taddy said that Sundays are fun day. Some people always say that. I don't know what it is. I cannot shake Sunday funk, man. I got the funks on Sunday, and arguably it might be my least favorite day.
Really?
I like it up
Yeah.
until about 4 p.m. and around 4 p.m. I start to get kind of like the Sunday blues, and I know we've got a full week ahead, and
Yeah.
it's time to get your head out of your ass, Pennington.
It's kind of weird. I mean, without a doubt, Saturday's my favorite day. I mean, there's no doubt about it, because that's like the one day. That's the day where it's like, okay, it's nothing but you can just have fun, tear at it, whatever.
Freedom.
Yeah. So without a doubt, Saturday's my favorite.
Especially if there's
Sunday-
not if you don't have an event Friday night,
Yeah.
and you're able to wake up without being hungover or extra tired.
Yeah.
Saturdays are very awesome.
Yeah, that's the day where I like anything pretty much that is fun that happens in my life happens on Saturday. So that's kind of my day. So I got to make Saturday count. Like I don't waste a Saturday. I'm like, this is it. But then Sunday you're like trying to for me it's like during the week I'm okay because I'm in the groove. Like I'm working at that pace, and it's hard to fire back into the manic state of preparing a show and doing all you got to do for the week.
I can relate to everything that you're saying. You
Yeah.
take that little break. It's like when you take a vacation. You get in this false world of, all right, things are easy going, but then in the back of your mind, it's got to be full gorilla real quick.
Yeah.
And it's just the impending doom of that.
Yeah. I even try to work steadily, and then just something about it. But when you get hit with Monday, you're just like, oh, I don't think I'm ready for this. Oh. So, but by tomorrow I'm back in the groove. I'm good for the week. But it just takes a little bit of time. So, I
Well,
guess
you
we all
look
got our day.
great. You're glowing.
Thank you. Yeah. So, good times, though. Had a good time on Saturday.
Virginia, you're probably so tired from the weekend. Did you dial it up yesterday?
Not really.
Did you drink it all yesterday?
I did.
Did you catch a buzz yesterday?
I did.
Gosh, it's amazing.
How the fuck did
She
you?
is amazing.
How are you here? 3 days in a row. I'm sorry. Because you were drunk on Friday. Saturday, I didn't see what you did.
Saturday, I was pretty mellow.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't do anything crazy Saturday.
Okay. And you rebounded for Sunday, huh?
Yeah. Sunday fun day.
Did you drink it all Saturday?
Not anything to speak of. I might have had one glass of wine the whole day.
Do you find when you have one glass of wine, I know they say it relaxes you, but is that because you definitely feel a buzz from one glass of wine?
I really didn't feel anything at all from it because I spread it out over the whole day. It was kind of like a bit, I was doing the cheese building. Mom, I don't cheese build and drink.
Yeah.
I take it serious. When I'm there to cheese build, I'm sober. Stone cold sober.
What it does, they can explain, they can tell you why people drink is because it goes to the pleasure centers of the brain and releases the endorphins that make you feel good. It's not even necessarily the buzz, but that seems to be one of the favorite things is it helps kick you to a state of relaxation faster than if you're just sitting there by yourself. and doing nothing.
It definitely does that.
And that's why people drink. Despite, the added weight and the hangovers and people who then have bad judgment calls while drinking. That's why people put up with all that kind of stuff and the cost, because it does something powerful. We all want to be in that place where, I feel happy and I'm relaxed and life is good.
And every drinker always thinks they're going to always beat the hangover. It doesn't matter how times the hangovers beat you. If you take a couple days off or a week off or whatever, you're like, I can beat the hangover. No, you cannot.
It sneaks up on you.
Yeah, it does. It does. So, anyway, rebounding here for a Monday, getting it all together, and then ready to fire it back up for another weekend coming up. Looks like we're getting more and more events going to be coming up. There's a lot of stuff on deck, like Honda Classics on deck, spring training's on deck.
Am I allowed back at the Honda Classic?
I believe so, yeah. In fact, that's all the same weekend. Spring training starts, as does the Honda Classic, that same weekend.
As does Stars Ball.
A ton of stuff going on.
I
yeah.
like that time of year, though.
It is. It's
Spring's
fun.
a fun time for me.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going down. I got some emails here today. This one is from the Bearded Mexican. I want to chime in on Virginia's experience at her local car wash where the cleaner found $10 under her seat and placed it in her cup holder. I'm also an automotive detailer with my own small mobile detailing business. I want to say that you will not believe how many people purposely hide money to see how trustworthy of a person the detailer is.
I believe it.
I would never do that. I just got lucky.
But I believe people set traps for sure.
I don't believe in traps. I never think it's a good road to go down.
Said I have had multiple people hide money in between seats, push way back under the back seat, and even $400 folded nicely under the passenger side floor mat. Once I returned the $400 to the owner, they said, "Oh, I've been looking for the money since yesterday." There's just no way that someone misplaced $400 folded up nice and neatly under a floor mat. Just know that there are honest people still in this world.
Oh, for sure, man. I believe there's a lot of good people in the world.
Yeah. So there you go.
Despite what the media tells you, there's some good people out there.
Love you guys. Keep up the last. P.S. Hey, Jaybird, go fuck yourself.
You got it.
Hey, J-Bud, go fuck yourself.
All year long, baby.
Let me see here. Got an email from BB. Saying your comments about Lorde. If you're going to play a clip about Lorde and try to make the pro-Israeli person in the clip look bad, you should at least know the backstory. She backed out when we played a clip, I think it was on Friday, where somebody had yelled something from the crowd and her handler or whatever shot the person down.
She was singing with a person. It was a producer, and the producer shot the person down.
Yes.
We don't know anything about it. I don't know what her stance is.
I arguably just read the article quickly. I cut off the audio, and yes, you're right. I probably got it wrong.
It says here she backed out because she sided with Palestinians who complained to her when the guy said they are nice in Israel. He was very accurate, and Lorde's producer quickly cut him off and tried to turn the tables because he knows what she did was wrong to cancel the concert. I understand you don't have time to research every story, but unless you know the background of this story, the clip wasn't even worth playing. There was no
Agreed.
Entertainment value to the clip. without the
Agreed. We
background.
get it. We're wrong. We suck. Okay.
No, I mean, we were just playing a clip that was out there, and no one has an opinion. I certainly don't. It's just out there. I'm just telling you what's there.
Oh, I'm following on the. I'm telling you, I pulled the clip up. I read up in the article. I blew it when I was asked about it. I completely gave the wrong facts. It's gonna happen again. It's kind of my thing.
So there you go.
But I think that we can still put things that are out there and not have a political bias or care one way or the other, or just inform you, hey, this happened to Lorde.
She made headlines again because the Grammys asked her to perform, and she was going, because a lot of times when you win the Grammy or not winning, when you are up for an award, nominated, you'll play one of your songs or whatever. They said, hey, Lorde, let's have you play. We'll have you do the tribute to Tom Petty. She backed down. She wanted to do one of her own songs.
She backed down? To play Don't Back Down?
She did. She backed down to play Tom Petty.
Won't back down.
Well, didn't play anything at the Grammys. And people are like, well, you won't play the Grammys? Then they fired back with, yeah, but every man that was nominated got to play one of their songs. Why does Lorde not to get play? I'm like,
yeah. Okay. So a lot.
But Kev, I'm probably wrong on that, so you might get another email tomorrow about me going 5 minutes too long about the Lorde story.
Mm-hmm. Well, look a little bit more into it. Like I said last week, I'm gonna have to really, find out some information. We'll be heading over there, so gotta fully understand what's going on, the ins and outs.
You are going that direction.
Still a lot of tension in that part of the world. So
be careful.
Yeah, I need to kind of understand what's going on. I mean, we're saying, that's the thing about some of those cultures. You don't know, like, you wave the wrong way. You send a different message. You think you're going, hey, how you doing? You're really going, hey, go fuck yourself. Not something you want to do over there. So I gotta get all that down.
Just keep your nose clean, Ralston.
That's it.
He won't even know when he does something wrong, though.
I know.
No idea.
He's not that kind of guy.
I feel like if Kevin got arrested in another country, we somehow would find a way to break him out. I really believe that.
SEAL Team 69.
I just believe that we would be able to get his ass out of wherever we need. We'd get him back home.
Nah, you're good as dead. If we're the team that's supposed to get you out.
That would be so. How awesome would that be, though? We all have our roles in getting him out.
I'm not holding my breath.
Your role is to stay here and pray, Jay Bird.
No, man. I'm your fucking. I'm your grease man. I'm your grease man.
He does have a lot of grease on him.
He does.
I'm the guy you send in to. Kev, it's me. The team is here. I'm the first face you see, brother.
He may have cooking oil in his bag. So, yeah, okay, you can be the grease man.
I get that motherfucker out, is what I do.
Okay.
I leave Virginia.
I don't know.
I show up just to go, hey, Virginia. Hey, I just want to say hi. I'm not helping you.
You get Kevin out, but you leave me.
Hell yeah.
You give him me. Take Kevin.
It's an exchange. Curtis from the Pizzle said, Virginia has said that she will never let Magnolia see the ugly side of her relationship with her ex-husband, and yet she will blast her ex and all men, even though Panda treats her so perfectly on the radio on a regular basis. No love lost for her, but how does she think Magnolia feels when people at school ask her about why her mom hates her dad so much, or if she happens to hear it herself? I get that he's a douche, but I feel like Virginia can't have it both ways, and, quote, I will never let Mag see the ugly. I will always protect her image of who her dad is to her and all men. Evil, trust me, I was in the horrible relationship, and he was the worst, etc.
Damn, coming at you with the deep shit.
I've never even talked on the radio about the details.
I mean, you have had some details. That's probably what she's
Not
talking.
the good stuff.
No, but according to people who listen, they're just hearing details.
Well, trust me when I say you don't know shit. You really don't. You don't know any of the details because I won't talk about them.
But I think they're saying that you have said some details, and that's why.
Well, all I've said is I don't like the guy, and it was just really awful, but I'm not going to give details.
Mm-hmm. Okay. There you go, Curtis.
Yeah.
I want some deep shit. Come on, let's get into it. That's a deep question.
Got a couple emails, one from Daniel and one from Brandon here.
I hope it's not. I was just kidding. I don't want anything deep.
Yeah, what are you asking for?
I'm just joking.
Brandon from the Fort and Daniel from Coral Springs both said, yeah, I was watching a murder special on Investigation Discovery, and it just happened to be about a murder in Logan, Ohio. The show is called The Perfect Suspect, and the episode is Season 1, Episode 5. It's about a young couple that was killed and cut up into pieces and then hidden in a cornfield. I want to hear Kevin's perspective on this. Do you know anything about these murders? This is a normal thing in Logan, Ohio.
Oh, jeez.
Is this the one you talked about?
Is Kevin killing people in Logan, Ohio? I also want to hear Jason and Virginia's thoughts on these murders in their hometowns, too. This is crazy. Much love from Fort Pierce. This went on the other email. Daniel said, the murder dismembered back in 1982. I know with those eyes you have. Did you have anything to do with it? So they both think that I killed these teenagers in 1982.
Well,
Is that the
you were a little young to be murdering in 82.
Yeah, I was 9
I mean,
at the time
that's a real go-getter.
in the town of Logan. And yes, I know them well.
Is that the satanic one?
Yeah, that was the Johnson murders is what they wound up calling it because the stepfather was a butcher. I just remember his last name was Johnson, and the bodies were buried in a cornfield. There were kids that I knew that went to West Logan. We had a bunch of different elementary schools, and one of the kids, I had a friend that knew him because you didn't know everybody from the elementary schools, even though it was a small town. You weren't connected to absolutely everybody in the town, but apparently they were riding in the cornfield and they were ramping, and they ramped, and it turned out that they were ramping over one of their legs, and the leg comes flying out of the ground, and they're going, oh crap, it's a human leg. And then as they kind of like excavated the site, the body parts were built in the shape of a pentagram. And then their heads were dismembered and chucked in the river, and they found those in a bag floating down the river. And so, yeah, they thought, because apparently like a motorcycle gang had gone through town, so there was argument, did a motorcycle, a satanic cult do it? Because we have Satan worshipers in town.
Was it just some dude that was just killing people?
Well, and then they had Johnson was the stepdad, and then I think somebody actually eventually, I think after I had left, somebody I think eventually confessed to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it Johnson?
No, I think it was somebody else, and I can't remember who it was or what it was all about. So,
Damn.
But yeah, so that was when I was a kid growing up. Yeah, I mean, it kind of changed the town because we were a completely innocent town, and I remember for me, the biggest thing I remember from it is it changed trick or treat. We used to have trick or treat like on a Friday night, and I used to love that. And then after that, we'd have to trick or treat on Sunday afternoon. And I was like, it was broad daylight and it was Sunday. And I'm like, this sucks. And I'm like, yeah, so that was the biggest change for me as a 9-year-old fat kid in Logan.
We've had, here in Palm Beach County, especially growing up as a kid, we had a few cases that were really big, and I think on the national.
Yeah, you had the Adam Walsh, right?
Adam Walsh. I mean, Adam Walsh changed the game, I think, for everybody.
For the country.
In the United States, Adam Walsh became the poster boy, literally, of, don't leave your kids alone for a second because strangers might get them. That was a big one. The one that always bothered me because she was around my age was the Rachel Hurley case, and that was the girl that got, she was murdered at Carlin Park in broad daylight, man. Someone killed her in one of the bushes over there, and they never got the killer. And I bring it up every so often just in case maybe someone has heard or knows something. They had a couple suspects, but they never could bring that one home. And you'll see it talked about in the news every couple years on the anniversary, but they've never been able to close the Rachel Hurley case. That one really bothered me.
Yeah.
Yeah, growing up, I mean, my mom's best friend is a lady named Ann. And we'd always be at their house because Ann had a son about my age, and then Ann had 2 other kids, 2 girls, Stephanie and Ashley. And Stephanie was murdered when she was 5. And I mean, this is like a family we grew up with. It was the guy across the street, a weird,
He did it?
Yep, he did it. They found the body stuffed under his bed. It was horrifying
He
for us.
he just knew them as the neighbor.
Yeah, he was just a weird neighbor across the street.
That happens a lot in those murder specials where it's someone on that road, man.
Just on that road. It's just your kids back then, you just run the streets during the day. You would go play. You'd be all up and down the street playing with your friends, and I guess he lured her in the house.
Oh, wow.
I was too young, so I don't know the details about what he did, if it was sexual or if he just murdered her. I was too young to ask, and now I'm too old and scared to ask. But
Right.
The other one we had too was back in the 80s. There was a serial killer that started from Miami, Christopher Wilder. And my mom, Ann was working Sunfest at the time, and she came home late, and my mom thought, oh my gosh, I think Wilder killed Ann. She thought oh yeah, I remember being a little kid waiting for Ann to come home because we thought she was a Wilder victim.
nobody had cell phones back in the day.
Oh, hell
so
no.
It was like you just had to wait.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. But he ended up killing people all through South Florida, up into the Pizzle area. Ended up going, I think he got killed by the police in New York trying to flee the country.
Wow.
Dang, huh?
That's all South Florida stuff, man.
Yeah. And in the one that somebody emailed about from Logan, it was Dale Johnston. He was convicted, sent to death row for the 82 killings of his stepdaughter and boyfriend.
So it was him?
No, he was convicted of it, and then he was released from prison in 1990. Yes, this is about the time I was kind of getting out of there. That's why I kind of missed some of the back details. And then in 2008, a guy named Chester McKnight confessed to the murders, and Kenneth Linscott was convicted of dismembering the bodies. And so now this guy, Dale Johnston, is going back and trying to sue the state for, wrongful imprisonment and that kind of stuff, and still trying to clear his name because he said that, I didn't know. I'm like, I don't know. Did he do it? Because it wasn't that well publicized.
Oh.
Kind of like one of those things, yeah.
I've seen this dude before, Kev.
Oh, yeah? Really?
The guy that's confessed. Yeah, they got a picture of him. Mm-hmm. I think they've got to have an interview with this guy somewhere.
Yeah.
He looks too familiar.
Yeah, there's in fact, the one I'm looking at is one from 10 TV. It's a Columbus TV station in Columbus, Ohio.
Wow, man. So he got away with it for that long.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and the guy who confessed said he couldn't live with the lie anymore.
That's because he knows his time was up.
Yeah, how about that?
This is why you can't leave your kids, even for a second. You just can't.
Well, I mean, I don't want to have that be the message.
That's my message.
I'm just very fascinated by talking about unsolved mysteries and murders because you want them solved. I mean, the cases I was talking about, that would be fucking amazing if those families got answers. Imagine having your loved one get murdered and never knowing the answer. That's got to be the most painful thing ever.
It's got to be the most horrific.
Wow, he did it just to clear his conscience, this guy. Said that he was like 24 at the time, and he said it's like a cancer that grows inside of you, having that truth.
Why did he do it?
That's a good question.
I mean, a lot of times they're just they're fucked, man.
Yeah, if I remember right, like, were they like on something or something like that had happened? I can't remember. Thought yeah. But yeah, why did he do it? I don't know. It's a great question. I mean, and then how do you get to the level where you're like hacking somebody up?
Well, sometimes when you get to that level, it depends on what the murderer's going after. Do they get personal pleasure from the hacking? Now, that's a different animal. Or are they cutting someone up just to dispose of the body because they don't want to get caught, mafia style? They're not killing for pleasure. They're killing to send a message or to silence somebody.
And why do you put the body parts in the shape of a pentagram? Like,
Well, again, it
that
depends.
seems like a lot of work.
It depends on what you're going for. If that's what you believe and that's the message you're trying to send, you would do that. If you're trying to throw off the police and act like you're part of the devil clan,
when you're not.
then they think it's satanic and it's not, then the heat's off of you.
Yeah, I'm checking all the different stories, and they don't really like talk about why. It just says he confessed to it. So I don't know, but I thought I'd read another story. That's kind of what it was. I'll check out that story though, yeah, because I've heard they're starting to do TV specials about it. Because yeah, I mean the town was rocked. I mean, for a while, if it seems like something out of a horror movie, doesn't it? When
It's horrifying.
You
It's
think
awful.
Satanists are going around and hacking up people, and that's I remember, and I was 9. So as a 9-year-old, just hearing people talking about, Satanists are grabbing people off the street and hacking them into pieces, and you're going, that's not cool.
What? We got to move, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody said, it was just on IDTV again last night. So there you go. Kelly has an interesting story talking about discussing. She said, I listened to the poop knife episode that you guys were talking about. Where somebody's talking about their family had a poop knife.
It's so gross.
Because apparently their
It
family,
is really
their
gross.
family had a big dumpers and they had a small hold toilet. See the poop knife hanging on a rusty nail, and
That's
like
tough.
if your turd were too big, you have to go cut it in half. You get to flush.
Now, do you slice it down the middle like a sausage, or do you cut it?
Probably cut it in half. See, and if you gotta take it into quarters, you do
We
that.
gotta stop talking about
It's so
Yeah.
gnarly.
Said it made me think of the first time I spent the night with my boyfriend at the time, my now husband, and when I was getting ready to leave the next morning, he was in the bathroom emptying the load. I told him I was leaving. I proceeded to walk to the door when, to my surprise, the bathroom door slid open, and while he is sitting on the toilet, he looks at me and says, "Hey, what, I don't get a kiss?" I really liked him, so I held my breath as I walked over and gave him a quick kiss and left. 18 years later, we're still together, and he's still free and open while pooping, and even walks in on me sometimes.
I mean, that is
when I forget to
love.
lock the door, even though I tell him not to. I'm in LaGrange, Kentucky, so add me to the map.
I don't like it.
That's
I do
love,
not
though.
like it.
I mean, if you're able to get to
people,
that
yeah.
level, man, that really is love.
Some people just really have no, it doesn't faze them a bit. Yeah,
You're right.
I am so protective on I'm just like I said, I'm like ashamed.
The house has to be empty. Like, there's no one that can hear or see or smell anything. It's got to be done like a secret.
It's so funny too because everybody walking on this planet poops.
I know.
So you know what I mean? No one can get on you for pooping.
You're
the
right.
ball's on them.
Why does it affect some of us and doesn't affect some of us?
Well, it's just you're so vulnerable in that state.
Yeah, guess so. Wow, craziness.
That's love, though. I tell you what.
Got an email from Sean, who recently moved from Philadelphia to Tallahassee to go back to school for a doctorate. And he said that I want to take a moment to emphasize what each of you have always been telling everybody. If you're not happy with what you're doing, make a change. I was working in corporate America for a while after finishing my master's and kept running into jobs with bitter people who hated life.
Oh, that's no good.
The more I was around those people, the more I started to feel like them, which really isn't who I am.
Good. Get out.
Change is scary, and sometimes when you're going through it, it seems terrible, but it also leads you to where you're supposed to be. So there you go. Just want to let you know that it's great advice, and it worked for me and changed my life. Also wanted to ask about going to Mardi Gras since it's coming up. I've never been, but it's a relatively easy drive from Tallahassee. Could always use a break from the studying. If Virginia has any recommendations for the college guy on a budget, I'll gladly take them. The one thing I do know is that I should never wear flip-flops there.
Never. For Mardi Gras, the best advice, prepare for every bit of weather because it'll go from beautiful to rainy and cold in a day.
And prepare for someone to punch you on the street when you don't want to buy what they're selling.
Just out of nowhere, huh?
Out of nowhere, baby.
Yeah.
It's hard to do Mardi Gras on a budget because the hotels are so expensive. Now, everything else, like all the parades, are free. So you can go stand on the street and watch the fun parades and check out the costumes, and all that is free. But to get a hotel room, you're talking about probably spending a minimum of like $275, $250 a night.
Wow.
Especially if you go on that Saturday, Sunday before
Yeah,
Mardi Gras.
that makes sense.
Those are the most expensive nights.
Yeah, it just seems like it'd be really
This
crowded
year,
and tough.
I planned early, and we're going with a big group, so we're doing an Airbnb thing. That is
Okay.
way more affordable if you have a nice big group together and you can get a whole house.
Yeah.
It might be a little late for this year because it's just, I mean, it's not this weekend coming up, it's next weekend.
Right.
But plan for 2019.
Okay. Little piece of advice. I know people, too, they'll always send emails. I forwarded to Virginia. She'll get back to you if you were looking for
Yes.
stuff.
I have a list that I keep and I add to it all the time of places to go, things to see.
And you'll meet up with some Nationers if they're out there, too.
Yeah, absolutely. We've done that many times. Last year, I met a nice girl and her whole family, and we hung out. And she told me she's going back this year. She's staying at the same hotel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess in New Orleans, they just recently cleaned out the storm drains. I guess they haven't really ever done it before. It's like a 5-block area in the French Quarter. It's kind of the epicenter of Mardi Gras.
Well, they've changed Bourbon Street. So they've gone and they've reconstructed the street.
Oh, wow.
Including all the drainage and
Okay.
like the curbs, the sidewalks,
Okay.
like everything is new.
Okay.
It was still being worked on when I was there about a month ago, and I don't.
I can only imagine how gross those fucking things are. The draining system.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so much throw up and hair and probably cum that's on that street.
Tons.
Tons of it.
Yeah.
It's lawless out
And
there.
that's just from Jaybird's group.
Yes.
I mean, it is a law. I remember walking the street at nighttime. This is so cool. And then going the next morning because I think I either forgot an ID somewhere. I was walking the streets at 7 a.m. It looks way different at 7 a.m. The streets are sad looking. There's regret. There's puke. I think shit.
Yeah.
There's
Don't touch anything. You'll stick to it.
New Orleans in the daytime, a little different animal.
Yeah. Apparently, they wound up sucking out 93,000 pounds of beads from the sewers.
I believe it.
46 tons
Yeah.
they got from that little cleanup.
I believe it.
So gross.
That is so gross. Barry said, I was checking Facebook and reading a story from the New Orleans Advocate about the 93 pounds of Mardi Gras beads they just pulled out of the storm drains. When I see this video pop up in the middle of the story, it's Virginia doing a Bremen ad. I start questioning how the Facebook spies tie things together to place that particular ad then and there. Virginia, New Orleans, Mardi Gras beads, how do they know? Does Virginia show up on certain keywords? I'm going to look up Bigfoot stories next, see if Jason's Lou Backroad Chevrolet commercial comes up.
I'm no longer with them. It will not come up.
Yeah.
But you might get, I don't know, Budge Chicken and Seafood.
That's true. Me and Buds are still together.
Mm-hmm. Let me see here. Kristen from Jupiter said, I'm sending you this article because I first heard the term cuckolding from listening to you all on the ATS podcast.
Jason taught us all what cuckolding is.
We're here to teach, y'all.
Apparently, CNN put out an article on the subject of cuckolding in their health section. I don't really understand the first paragraph of the article and its reference to the evolution of the term to insult alt-right conservatives. But if you read on, you might get a laugh out of it. I found the headline amusing in and of itself. Love the show. So apparently, cuckolding is now a way to...
You call people a cuck when they are easily, like if they're not masculine and they let everyone walk right over and the woman wears the pants in the family and he's, oh, yes, ma'am. You're a cuck.
Okay.
You're kind of, you have no spine.
I did not know that. Okay. Very interesting. So there you go.
If you're talking about like the political word. Now, the cuckolding and the other sense, I think we've delved into that. When a gentleman enjoys watching his wife or girlfriend be pleasured by another gentleman who a lot of times are a lot larger than he is.
No gentleman involved, actually.
It's just a lot of what the fuck is going on here.
What the cuck?
Mm-hmm. Let me see.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, I almost went down to Gulfstream Park, check out the Pegasus World Cup. It is the largest purse. I guess how they do it, 12 domestic and international horse owners have to pay $1 million just to get a spot in this race.
Wow.
And that's what the pot is. So the winning purse is like $16 million.
That's crazy.
Yeah, pretty crazy stuff. I saw the winning jockey. He's like French. and his family's all like American citizens. And so he went and got his citizenship in the morning and then won the $16 million purse on the horse.
Dang.
In the afternoon. Then they had this big old throwdown because they got that whole, the village, whatever, Gulfstream Village that's kind of around. And they had Ludacris was there performing live. Yeah, Live kind of like nightclub set out a deal. And then they had this dude, Post Malone, which I don't really know much about him. He's kind of like in the current hip hop stuff. But when I heard these songs, I was like, okay, you guys probably haven't heard these, but I've heard some of these songs.
When my homies pull up on your block, they make that thing go grata-ta-ta.
That's a good like a good toss-off song. It's got that beat.
It's oddly enough called Toss Off.
No, it's not.
Please leave your hands where I can see them.
No, but it's got like that beat. You know what I mean?
Music to masturbate to. Post Malone, Rockstar.
It's got that masturbation cadence to
Post
it.
my bone.
You can see it, Kev.
Jaybird just whacking the whistle.
Posting my bone.
Yeah, so, this is kind of like the style that he does. It's kind of like...
Oh, yeah, I mean, same thing. It's very sensual.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of the sound that he's got. But I don't know if you might know by listening to it, but Post Malone, he's got a bunch of these kind of like contemporary hits. Dude's white. And so a lot of his stuff is kind of very... And when I started looking him up, he had a good crowd at Gulfstream Park. He played the other night, and I saw like Ludacris is opening up for him. So I'm like, who is this guy that Post Malone that Ludacris is opening up for? Then I started listening to songs. I'm like, okay, I recognize most of his songs. But yeah, he just recently got blasted because he stated that he feels like it's been a struggle for him as a white rapper because people apparently are all over him. They call him a culture vulture. And he's going in that whole appropriation, culture appropriation thing.
When you go in the public eye, motherfuckers are gonna hate on you. Wah! Get on stage and rock your shit.
Yes.
Yeah, you can only be you, Post Malone.
I mean,
Yeah.
Or Post my bone.
Oh, I'm so sad. I'm successful. I'm getting paid to do music. Oh.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Malone. Let's go.
Yeah, so someone was asking about that in an interview and said, he's like, what is it like? He said, it's been a struggle because, being a white rapper, he said, people usually want to attack you.
Right there. I'm struggling. I'm a white rapper.
Well, it's a struggle to do what he does because of the hate that he gets simply because of the color of his skin.
Haters gonna hate, baby.
Yeah.
Haters gonna hate. You think everyone loves the dirt of the day? Fuck no.
Yeah. Yeah, so people kind of like put him on blast because of that. And they said, well, if it's so tough for you, just stop making rap music if it's so hard for you. So he was kind of like doing his thing. And then he also had a misguided attempt the other day. Apparently he was in Vegas in a Humvee and did not think of how bad it would look if he were rolling down the street with the fake machine gun hanging out the side that he had. So he had to apologize for his actions.
All right, this Malone cat's really getting on my last damn nerve.
Yeah.
Look at him. That's him right there.
Yeah.
He's like singing and he's smoking and he's...
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't match.
not pretty.
Well, it doesn't match.
It's definitely not
heard him,
pretty.
All right, I'm out with this Malone.
Yeah, when I
He's
first
got
heard
a
him.
big gut, and he doesn't have his shirt buttoned, and there's like a Beyonce fan, and it's blowing his shirt open, and it's...
It's kind of weird because when I had
not
heard
pretty,
the songs,
Kevin.
yeah, I know. No, I saw when I watched it. I've seen the videos now. I'm like going, that's not what I was picturing. So there you go. I was like, yeah, because I saw. I'm like, who's Post Malone?
Oh, he's barefoot? I mean, this guy...
He's kind of taking my act, actually.
Yeah.
Gut hanging out, barefoot.
You're a rapper?
Shitty white rapper who complains a lot.
Been done.
Damn.
taking my act.
He took your
Yeah.
whole stick.
Next thing you know, he's going to do a song called Skunk Ape. That's when we know. Come on, Post Malone.
We see you.
Yeah. All right, I got to say, what up? Little happy 28th birthday to my niece and best friend, Loho.
Loho.
Get to making babies. Your eggs are getting old. That's from Kim, so there you go. Wanted that on the ATS. There's your shout out. All right, y'all. Thanks for the emails. Get them to us, mail at kvjshow.com, and enjoy your day. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.